Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who I learned the truth from and who rule well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the 1/3, the large multitude, unto you I say shalom. So, today's lesson that I want to get into is how the love of many is waxing cold. How, times are getting more crucial, they're getting more perilous, more serious. As the days go by, these people's spirits are waxing worse. They're starting to become more bugged out, because they can feel that, their society is, falling down. Their little bubble, the little world that they live in, it's crashing down. So, these people are gonna, pretty much start crashing out, So it's best to avoid these people, these bugged out people at all costs. And if you do have to deal with them, you have to deal with them with wisdom, knowing that, these people have these demonic spirits on them. So, the first scripture that I want to get is book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 12. And it reads, "And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold." So iniquity, that's, sin on top of sin. And, that's all these people do is just commit sin, commit abominations, eat abominable foods, worship idols. They're not worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. The only ones who can worship, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai are the Israelites, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. But, 2/3 aren't doing that. They're filling their own belly, worshiping, money, their job, their women. They're not worshiping Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. And ultimately, the Lord gave them up to that reprobate spirit. So, they're going to keep committing sin on top of sin till, that destruction, those ICBMs hit, Babylon the Great. So next scripture I want to get is Mark chapter 13. And I'm going to start at verse 7. And it reads, "And when ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars, be ye not troubled, for such things must needs be, but the end shall not be yet. For a nation," this is verse 8, "for a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be earthquakes in diverse places, and there shall be famines and troubles. These are the beginning of sorrows." So right now, you got the war in Israel and Iran, ramping up. Iran's, they promised that they're going to retaliate any day now, so that's rumors of wars. You got kingdom rising against kingdom. You got earthquakes. You had an earthquake in California today. There's famines, throughout the earth. So, all these are signs of the times, that the day of the Lord is near. I'm going to jump down to verse 12. And it reads, "Now the brother shall betray the brother to death, and the father, the son, and the children shall rise up against their parents, and shall cause them to be put to death." So all these people, spirits are waxing cold. They're starting to, turn against one each other. Family members turning on each other. Offing each other. Killing deleting their whole family and then offing themselves. This is starting to become a more common thing, especially the Edomites, Esau. But these are all signs of the times, the perilous times we're in. So next scripture I want to get is Second Esdras chapter 15. And I'm going to start at verse 15. For the sword and the destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the cords of their actions shall stand in their power. So yeah, the destruction is near. Martial law is near. All hell breaking loose is near. And people are gonna turn against one each other. Right now, your neighborhood, your neighbor, they'll say hello, but when those perilous times come, all hell breaks loose. Everybody's gonna turn against each other. They're gonna have swords in their hands. The modern day sword, that's the gun. The firearm. And that word sedition, that's going into conflict. There's gonna be a civil war. There's going to be race wars, riots, and people aren't going to regard their governments, their police departments. There's just going to be all hell breaking loose. Verse 17, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled and the houses shall be destroyed. And men shall be afraid. Verse 19, and a man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. So yeah, they're going to set up 15-minute cities, when martial law gets established, and people's, houses are going to be, looted, their wives are going to get ravished, cities are going to be burned down. And people aren't gonna have pity upon their neighbor. They're gonna loot and take their goods. Take their wives. Their children. There's gonna be famine, and that's people are already in that spirit. So how much more when all hell breaks loose? So next scripture I want to get is Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 15, and it reads, see that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time because the days are evil. So yeah, we got to walk with wisdom, with that fear of the Lord, so we could avoid being judged. Unlike the rest of these people, they're just, walking blindly. They're walking without that light. They're not looking around, to what's going on around them, the news, the current conflicts going on throughout the world, the prophecies, the World War III kicking off and going nuclear. They're not paying attention to these times, so they're gonna get caught, by surprise. And redeeming the time, that's going into buying back the time, that we spent, in the world. Now that we're in the truth, we gotta buy back that time, by reading, praying, fasting, studying, putting out lessons, And most of these people, 2/3 of Israel, they're not doing it. The next scripture I want to get is Colossians chapter 4 and verse 5, and it reads, "Walk in wisdom toward them that are without, redeeming the time." So yeah, when we're dealing with these bugged out people, these people got demons on them. We got to deal with wisdom. We can't, get carnal with them. They might, say something that offends us, but ultimately, we can't take matter into our own hands. We got to let Yahweh Bashim Shai handle it. We got to wait on them to execute judgment. So next scripture I want to get is Romans chapter 12 and verse 18, and it reads, "If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men." So yeah, even dealing with the the 2/3 and these heathens, you still got to deal with wisdom. You just can't curse them out and tell them they're gonna be destroyed. The heathens are going into slavery. You can't deal with people out here like that. You got to use wisdom. You got to know how to talk to them, without coming, offensive, to the point that, they want to, put hands on you. So next scripture I want to get is the book of Romans, chapter 13 and verse 11, and it reads, "And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to wake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than we believe." So yeah, the current times we're in, we're in perilous times. Jacob's trouble is near. Martial law, all hell breaking loose. World War III, the implementation of the MOTB, the Karagma. Those are all things that are right around the corner. So we gotta be on watch, at all times. Because Yahweh Shai coming back is nearer than we believe. He's right around the corner. He's turning the street. So we gotta pay attention to the times. Walk with wisdom.